it. I just had to put myself into a kind of training program to learn how to be a human being. I mean, how did I feel about anything? I didn't know. What kind of things did I like? What kind of people did I really want to be with, you know? And the only way that I could think of to find out was to just cut out all the noise and stop performing all the time and just listen to what was inside me. See, I think a time comes when you need to do that. Now, maybe in order to do it, you have to go to the Sahara, and maybe you can do it at home, but you need to cut out the noise.
Yeah, of course, personally, I usually don't like those quiet moments, you know, I really don't. I mean, I don't know if it's that Freudian thing or what, but, you know, the fear of unconscious impulses or my own aggression or whatever, but if things get too quiet and I find myself just sitting there, you know, as we were saying before, I mean, whether I'm by myself or I'm with someone else, I just have this feeling of, my God, I'm going to be revealed. In other words, I'm adequate to do any sort of a task, but I'm not adequate just to be a human being. I mean, in other words, I'm not, if I'm just trapped there and I'm not allowed to do things, but all I can do is just be there, well, I'll just fail. I mean, in other words, I can pass any other sort of a test, and I can even get an A if I put in the required effort. But I just don't have a clue how to pass this test. I mean, of course, I realize this isn't a test, but I see it as a test, and I feel I'm going to fail it. I mean, it's very scary. I just feel totally at sea. I mean,
you know, I could imagine a life, Wally, in which each day would become an incredible, monumental, creative task, and we're not necessarily up to it. I mean, if you felt like walking out on the person you live with, you'd walk out. Then if you felt like it, you'd come back. But meanwhile, the other person would have reacted to your walking out. It would be a life of such feeling. I mean, what was amazing in the workshops I led was how quickly people seemed to fall into enthusiasm, celebration, joy, wonder, abandon, wildness, tenderness. Could we stand to live like that?
Yeah, I think it's that moment of contact with another person. I mean, that's what scares us. I mean, that moment of being face to face with another person. I mean, now, you wouldn't think it would be so frightening. It's strange that we find it so frightening.
Well, it isn't that strange. I mean, first of all, there are some pretty good reasons for being frightened. I mean, you know, a human being is a complex and dangerous creature. I mean, really, if you start living each moment, Christ, that's quite a challenge. I mean, if you really reach out, you're really in touch with the other person, well, that really is something to strive for, I think. I really do.
Yeah, just so pathetic if one doesn't do that.
Of course, there's a problem, because the closer you come, I think, to another human being, the more completely mysterious and unreachable that person becomes. I mean, you know, you have to reach out. You have to go back and forth with them, and you have to relate, and yet you're relating to a ghost or something. I don't know, because we're ghosts. We're phantoms. Who are we? And that's to face, to confront the fact that you're completely alone, and to accept that you're alone is to accept death.
You mean because somehow when you are alone, you're alone with death? I mean, nothing's obstructing your view of it or something like that.
Right.
You know, if I understood it correctly, I think Heidegger said that if you were to experience your own being to the full, you'd be experiencing the decay of that being toward death as a part of your experience.
You know, in the